Thank you so much for tuning in to She's All Over the Place with Kiriaki. That's me. Hey, what's up? Happy summer, everyone. I'm really excited that it's summer. I took my first dip yesterday. It was really nice to get my whole entire body into some salt, if you know what I mean. And then I did this beautiful meditation, and it's called One Tribe Unite Meditation. And Michael Beckwith, who is the creator of the Agape Center in Los Angeles, it's around the Culver City area, he led the meditation, and he was talking about how it would look like for a kinder, just society. What would it look like? Just to plant the seed into the universe. Not to come up with all the answers, but what pops up. And then he also offered, how does it feel to you? How does a kinder, just society feel to you? So what would it look like, and how would it feel? And this was planted not just for the moment, but for an exploration for the coming moments, thoughts, future ahead. You can visit it on youtube.com. You can just type in One Tribe Unite, Michael Beckwith, or Sigh on Earth. The homie Shaman Durek, he was on with his beautiful princess, and he gave his heart and soul and spoke about how he feels. Shaman also has an amazing podcast if you want to check it out. It's called Ancient Wisdom Today. My sister Anna actually turned me on to him a couple years ago, and he's amazing. So for me, it really moved me. I shared it on my social media, and then also Michael Beckwith said, journal about it. Meditate on it. You put it into the universe. Some things came up for me, specific situations of the day or maybe the day prior with maybe how I feel about someone or how I communicate with someone in particular. And then also, it's a reflection of how you communicate with self. So I'm really moved and grateful for the seeds to be planted, and I'm really taking it to heart and being more responsible with my actions, with myself and with others for a kinder, just society. And I invite you to join me on the journey and be a part of the One Tribe, for sure, for sure. Oh, speaking of One Tribe, today we're going to have a musical guest on, Nicky Scorpio. He's a singer and songwriter, and he has been so inspired by what's been going on in the world that he wrote this beautiful song called No Justice, No Peace that I would love to share with you. So we're going to have him on in a little bit. Yeah, we'll get some words from him. Gratefully, I'm a part of the SAG-AFTRA Foundation, and they have an event. It's called Race and Storytelling, and it's through their education, outreach, and engagement platform. It's actually going to be on YouTube, so by the time you hear this, the live will be done. But I invite you to watch it. Type into YouTube, just SAG-AFTRA, and type in Race and Storytelling. It's going to be with David White. He's the SAG-AFTRA National Executive Director. Robbie Reed, she's a casting director and a producer. Paris Barclay, who's a director-producer, is going to join the panel. Sterling K. Brown, who's an actor. Yvette Nicole Brown, she's an actor. Michelle Hurd, she's an actor. And these are all African Americans on this panel, and they're going to be live streaming this series and conversations focused on race, storytelling, and equal opportunity for all. So I'm excited to be a part of that and listen to their wise words and what they have to say so I can learn. My friend turned me on to this podcast community. It's called She Podcast. So I've been connecting with a lot of podcasters on there. That's been really cool and informational. It's a nice supportive community and platform. If you may have your own podcast, you might want to check it out and be a part of the community and say hi. My beautiful friend Isabel, who's an art dealer, she's a part of the National Arts Club, and she sent me this invitation for the Art of Voiceover, and that was today. It was really, really cool, and I was able to be on a live Zoom with Dee Bradley Baker, and he's this animation voiceover person, and I'm on his website right now. It's just Dee Baker. He's super cool. He gave all this information about voiceovers, and he was just a really open book, and his metaphor was being a painter and having these different palettes and trying these different things and just being so great at what you do. And, we talked about union versus non-union, and he's a union actor, and he was talking about developing his craft and putting content out. He gave his website, his social media, and Twitter, so you can just follow him and find him. It's at Dee Bradley Baker, and then bottom of his website he has a link that says, I want to be a voiceover actor. And this artist is a great person. He created this link for people who want to be in voiceover. So, and then it's so organized. And it's like if you're starting from zero, and it gives the breakdown about agents, and he talks about the VO myths, and he talks about like going pro and your demo and your website. He gives information to people who are already in voiceover, who already have agents, who are already like in it, and how to go to the next level. He talks about, building a home studio, and I'm going to be exploring the website more myself, and I'm really excited about it. So awesome that, a friend sent me an email and gave me an invitation, and I said yes. That opened up a door just for me to enhance my life and enhance my craft and expand my love for my passion of what I love to do. So my hopes, whoever's hearing this, that you can see how one can be a ripple effect and how it could be the same for you and how you could be that for others as well. The power of saying yes and being the ripple effect. So that's kind of what I've been up to the last couple of days. I'm really excited to have my girlfriend Tali. She's in South Africa. We're going to have her on the podcast coming up. We have some really cool guests coming up on the podcast. Woohoo! Let's get right into it and bring Nicky Scorpio on, and let's hear what he has to say about no justice, no peace. Cool. And now we have Nicky Scorpio with us. What up, Nicky Scorpio? Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for doing what you're doing. It's important we get this message out there.
Definitely. So I appreciate you. Thank you. It's important what you're doing too, my friend.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's difficult to be silent about it, So it's good that people are waking up and really, taking action and educating themselves.
Definitely. I mean, I've known you since 2012, and you have been nonstop talking about justice and Tupac and how the African American community is treated. And, you've been talking about systemic and racial injustices since I've known you. You've been very passionate and raw about this movement and what's been going on. And I really, really admire and love your new song, No Justice, No Peace. Can you share with us some inspiration?
Yeah, well, I grew up in a very diverse neighborhood. I had a very diverse upbringing. And, I feel that if children were brought up with more diversity, there wouldn't be this issue that's going on right now. So for me, when I made it, it's more to say, like, besides the fact that we need to come together, is that, we need to look at this like a relationship. We need to look at what's going on, people that are different than us, than the same way we do as a relationship. You want to have certain things in a relationship. Well, that goes for other people too that don't have the same opportunities. You want to introduce your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, best friend, etc. to different things so that they can have happiness. Well, we need to do that as a world, So that's what it was for me, is we listen to hip hop music, we go to these clubs, we get our fashion, our inspiration from the African American community, from people of color, and we need
our
to
swag.
Yeah, we need to acknowledge that and really, and not only acknowledge that, but we need to also, really stand up and speak out when people are being unaware or ignorant.
Now, at the beginning of the month, you wrote a beautiful article on Thrive Global called The Power of Uncomfortable Conversations. It really moved me, and it was so wild because ever since I've known you, you've always been like ahead. You've had this foresight. You're like, oh, this is going to happen, or this is going to happen, or this is about to happen. Like, you've been calling it. You've been calling it for a while. You're like, I don't know what it's going to look like, but something like it has to get ugly before it's going to get better. And you've just been like talking and saying things for years. And now things are really unfolding in the ways that you were really talking about. And, I'm in your community, and I've heard your management team and like some other people, say the same thing. And I acknowledge you because you're amazing and you're really saying something so powerful here. And I'm so happy, the rest of the nation is saying this as well. And you're this energetic force and this huge vibrational being. And you wrote this amazing piece, June 1st, The Power of Uncomfortable Conversations. And then I saw Ariana Huffington post something a couple days later. And then that same day, and then just like every single day since then, everyone's talking about, I just mentioned earlier in the podcast, SAG Foundation has has race and storytelling tomorrow. And now all these conversations are being spoken about. Matthew McConaughey just did one. And you said it. You said it in your articles. Can you share a bit about that with us?
Thank you. Yeah. The way that our world is, more so in America, we're living in a world where people are barely getting by a lot of times, or people are so in their worlds that when something doesn't fit into the conversation, they ignore it, right? And
I've seen it. We've been in meetings, we've been at lunches, and you'll talk about something raw and something real, and because you'll tell me, and I didn't notice it before, but then after you told me, I noticed people who stay, they're engaged and they're eye locking, or they'll get up and leave and go to the bathroom or take a call and come back, and they just check out.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, this is a way of life, because regardless, even before the COVID thing happened, and the terrible tragedy with George Floyd, this has been happening for months and for years and for centuries. And really, because of cell phones, people have been able to capture this. Like Will Smith said, racism isn't getting worse; it's being recorded. And a lot of people want to ignore that because they want to live this beautiful, perfect, moisturized life and just go on with that. And if something doesn't fit into that dialogue, that they ignore it. The way that the world is shifting now, which is beautiful, is it's coming into people's lives and saying that this thing that you're ignoring is here. And you can sit there and say, I'm a good person, or I'm not racist because I have friends that are ethnic, or something along the lines of that. But it's not enough, that people are now becoming aware of certain people don't have the same opportunities. When people talk about these spiritual things, we're all one, and do deep breathing. People that are living in, impoverished neighborhoods don't have the opportunity to meditate all the time. They don't have that. They're living one step away from broken homes and from chaos. And so when we change the dialogue, when we share the same information, when we really, understand, when we put ourselves in the other people's shoes that we don't know, we don't understand, it creates a better world for ourselves if we really want to be selfish about it. But it creates this amazing ripple effect where everyone around you feels better because of something that you take for granted, and so that's what it is for me, is that we really need to take a look at simple things that that we have in our lives, and certain opportunities, and where our focus is going on, and where where we're putting our energy, and who we're buying products from, and those kinds of things. So yeah, it's important.
Definitely, it's definitely important. Those are some big awarenesses, and really stepping to the plate and being a responsible ally. So I mean, you definitely moved me in such a way when I read your article, and then something came through Thrive, and they're they were talking about allyship, and then I'm like, oh my God, you just wrote about this, and then boom, then I was inspired, and I went on to Thrive Global, and I wrote an article about allyship and responsibility. So I really appreciate you allowing me to share your new song, No Justice, No Peace. It's not out on Apple or Spotify or anywhere yet. It's only a link on SoundCloud. So, and who knows, knowing you'll probably take it down next week or something. But so I would say, hey, go to SoundCloud and check it out. But it might not be there. But
no, it'll be there. No, she's just saying I'm a perfectionist. No, I'm definitely. There's a lot changing in the music industry, and we're all working on our strategy and everything, but this is something. Thankfully, music changes the dialogue for people, and popular culture changes the way that people perceive things. And I believe that people are all good at heart. I believe that education is important, and education isn't just a one-sided history book from the point of view of the person who was victorious. Education is having those uncomfortable conversations and understanding. People don't realize police look at people with white skin and they treat them differently without even realizing it. Judges do the same thing. People hold their purses and they don't even want to, so now that things are changing, it's up to us to keep this going. This isn't a trend. This isn't a fad. This isn't a hashtag. This is something systematic that is changing, and it's going to be uncomfortable for people. Your friends, your family, your relatives might be ignorant. They might go against you, and you need to have that confidence and have that faith and understand that if you were being treated unfairly, you would want justice. That's all people are asking for, is basic human rights.
Yeah, well, at some point I really feel like we're human beings, so I feel a lot of us feel things aren't fair, no matter who you are. So we all can relate to that thread of what it feels like to would be unfair. So then, Michael Beckwith was saying in the meditation yesterday, and, a lot of spiritual healers and everything, the spiritual journey and just being a human, we focus on compassion and being kinder, and we focus on, self-compassion. So really taking responsibility and stepping into, bigger shoes for self and into the shoes of others to have empathy and compassion for others, and to really explore what empathy is to you, and how you can be more empathetic, which is putting feeling for another and then compassionate feeling for yourself,
Yeah, I mean, I would say really quickly, one of the things, because I just naturally grew up in diversity, and sometimes I forget other people don't have that, is for people that are parents or for people who want to have children, is kids love absorbing information. So, you can, besides taking kids to summer camps and things like that, where there are different, backgrounds and different walks of life and different kinds of people, you can also show kids and tell kids about the history of different foods and like how things are made and where things come from, because it's cool to know. And then when you also teach your children and teach yourself your culture, and not just being an American, but actually where you come from, how significant of your background and your DNA, then you can really start to have a different dialogue and conversation. So those are ways where we can really start changing this, and it's beautiful, and we're part of it. We're part of history. So
definitely in 2020, here we are, and June 22nd. So it's the beginning of summer. Woohoo! We have a lot to celebrate. Change is really here and super exciting with all the traumatic, devastation, fear patterns and things that are happening. Actually, it's breaking down, the old that doesn't serve us and stepping into the new. So, it's important to have a positive attitude and to be open, because, a lot of people, are closed-minded, and when you have 70,000 thoughts and 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts every single day, it's and you're hardwired, it's really difficult to, say yes to that. You might be like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a part of that. And that's the ego. That's the fragmented part that's disconnected from the self, So it's really difficult. And we understand that. Like, it's so difficult. But also we're human beings and we're here for a bigger experience, and it's more than just ourselves. Yeah.
There's a balance to it. It's definitely, you need to make sure that you're taken care of and that you're giving yourself self-love. At the same time, for me, like when I'm stressed out, when I give somebody a compliment, when I help somebody out, like it puts me in a better headspace. So I think right now, with everything that's going on and with all the fear, I think now is a time to say, you know what, I've been doing it my way for years and years, and it hasn't gotten me to where I want to be. So maybe I can try to switch things up, and maybe I can try to understand people or a culture that I haven't understood before. Maybe I can try a different approach. Maybe I can catch the thoughts that are going on in my head and start from there. So it's baby steps, but now is actually a beautiful time to really stay educated and to really, look at our patterns and how we react to different things, and how we, not only judge people around us, but how much we judge ourselves and how much we put that onto other people unfairly.
Yeah, definitely. With that, thank you so much for joining us on She's All Over the Place. And one thing I know for sure is no justice, no peace.
Yes. Power to the people. Peace and love.
Rock on. Okay, cool. No justice, no peace.
Certainly people upset here tonight, but we've got, innocent business owners who are now going up in flames. What's it going to take for you guys to be okay tonight and to stop this chaos?
It ain't me. It's not me. I'm going to let y'all know that now. It's not us guys neither. And I'm glad that y'all said that. It's not us. It's the police. It's the madness that they spark up. This is what they encourage. This is what they provoke. This is what you get out of you taking a loved one from someone. This is what you get. You get a lot of people that's hurt, and they can't vent the right way. They can no longer depend on the police to be here to protect us like they say they gonna do. So this is what you get. We not the ones that's killing us. Y'all killing us.
I grew up with diversity, around people who do not look like me. Many different ethnicities. Celebrate, we live differently. A child grows up and starts to see money made from brutality. People who evolving. Racing, oh yeah, it keeps revolving. Now this world, it keeps evolving. Good versus evil, the people marching. No justice! No peace! Here we say no justice!
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Kitty Get Key, over and out.